Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, let me start things off by asking a question that is on everyone's mind right now, and that is, what the hell happened in Atlanta last weekend? Now, I'm pretty sure you've seen videos of cop cars on fire and businesses on fire as of this month, and no, these are not from the summer of 2020 with all the George Floyd bullshit that went on at that time. This all happened this year. This month, this week. Now, when I first saw some of these videos, I was wondering why this was going on, because I didn't see or hear about any instance of police brutality occurring within the Atlanta area, at least that I know of, and this is usually the type of activity that we normally see typically happen on even number years, more specifically, the ones that are divisible by 4, and we're in an odd number year. A prime number year, actually. So why is Atlanta currently in chaos? What happened? What happened that caused this, and why is it happening? Of course, I was concerned. I mean, I'm pretty much aware and do actually remember what happened a couple summers ago when we were all still trapped in the bubble. I saw what was happening in Atlanta this weekend. I saw all kinds of videos on Twitter from Andy No, Ian Miles Cheong, Jack Posobiec, you know, the guys who normally cover this stuff. And I saw what was happening in Atlanta through their videos, and I was both really concerned and confused at the same time. I was, of course, unsurprised as to what the fuck I was seeing. After all, I have been following these dudes for quite some time now, seeing what they put out, but a lot of people were talking about what was going on in Atlanta. A lot of people were putting out the same videos of cop cars on fire, riots breaking out, non-stop fucking chaos throughout the entire city. Violent thugs running amok. So while I was seeing this going on, I was asking myself why. Like, you know, like what the fuck is going on in Atlanta? There was like some sort of like instance of police brutality that I was not made aware of? Because usually when that happens, the name of the person usually trends on Twitter. I didn't see any names. I didn't see any hashtags or whatever, except for the name of the city where this was occurring. And I'm looking at these videos and I was just left fucking clueless. So after the weekend, I was looking up some local news in Atlanta, you know, just to get some clear answers as to what I was seeing. And of course, I was not at all surprised. This was, in fact, police related. So the story goes is that the Atlanta Police Department was thinking about building sort of like a training facility somewhere in like Gwinnett or Cobb counties, or I think it was actually DeKalb County where they were actually building this. You know, somewhere outside of the vicinity of downtown Atlanta proper, and they wanted to build this facility, which is kind of sort of like a cop equivalent of Disney World. That's really the best I can describe it. I know Cop City is sort of like the nickname that the people have been giving it, but the official name of the facility that they're building is the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, and it's going to be built where the old Atlanta Prison Farm, which is an abandoned prison complex in southeast DeKalb County, owned by the city itself, which shut down in 1990. Now, of course, no fucking surprise, after what happened 3 years ago, plans of building this facility obviously caught the attention of BLM and Antifa. They're of course concerned about supposedly leading to the increase of policing in Atlanta, because keeping your own city safe is not a good thing, because God forbid a cop kills somebody, justified or not. And the location itself is also a concern to the same people, because one, because of its history, it's where an abandoned prison once sat, and climate activists are opposed to it as well, because destruction of the forest conflicts with their views of environmental justice and attempts to preserve the land as an urban park and conservation area. Now, I can kinda sorta side with the environmentalists on this. If you want to build a police training facility without impacting the environment directly, you know, without chopping out trees and shit, you can always build one in the middle of the desert, in the middle of the plains. Why do you think a lot of these facilities are built in central Nevada anyway? Because nobody lives there, number one, and number two, it's just a flat desert. I'm pretty sure it's not so difficult to find, you know, a flat grassland area in the Atlanta area, especially in a state like Georgia anyway. A lot of parts in Georgia, and of course, the South in general, are not that mountainous, or even forested. Why do you think Alabama, Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle get the most violent tornadoes? Now, of course, there were protests against this project, some from libertarians, but mostly from BLM and Antifa, obviously. So what happened is, while the protests were going on, Antifa, no surprise, decided to get a little bit violent in the protests, and a cop somehow shot one of their comrades. Well, allegedly. That's what I was hearing from some reports. And of course, what followed when the sun went down, just by knowing who these people are. I mean, this was clearly inevitable, but what followed was non-stop rampage in the entire city of Atlanta. Like, you see cop cars being vandalized, cop cars being burned down, police stations being destroyed, the entire city going up into flames. Looting was also going on while these riots were breaking out. So because a cop shot somebody, because the protests were slowly starting to become riots, because one of their comrades have fallen, things started to become much worse. Now, I said earlier that there was no instance of police brutality that happened in Atlanta, although there was something that actually ended up happening in Memphis, which I'm not so sure about the details of that, but that could play a little bit of a role of what's happening in Atlanta. Now, going back to what I'm seeing in Atlanta, these in no way are considered lawful protests. These are not protests. These are not protests whatsoever. These are riots. I don't see justice being served or a message being sent. All I see is stupidity. Nothing but pure ignorance and absolute fucking stupidity. That's what I'm seeing. Apparently nobody seems to get the memo. Nobody learned their lesson 3 years ago, and I'm going to ask literally the same exact fucking questions that I asked when the George Floyd riots were happening back in 2020. How the fuck is burning down buildings, smashing windows, destroying cars, tearing down statues, and attacking police cars, destroying property, looting, and pillaging every single building in the city beneficial to the situation at hand? How is this fighting for racial justice? How is this in any way fighting against police brutality or policing in general? In what ways do these acts support Black Americans in this country? I mean, come on. Do we really have to go through this fucking shit yet again? Because it's looking like next year just came early. Who goddamn knows what we're gonna see next year? I don't see peaceful protesters. I see violent, opportunistic lowlifes. Because being a useless piece of shit and thinking that burning down a city, tearing down statues, and virtue signaling about the United States being an evil racist country as a form of craptivism was somehow more important. You're not doing anything good when you're burning down a city. You are not doing anything good when you're looting stores. You are not doing anything good when you're burning down police cars in the name of racial justice. All you're really doing is ruining lives. We've seen this before in the summer of 2020, and we're seeing it again right now. And whatever went on in Memphis, who knows if this is going to continue, spread, and maybe even become worse. You're not really preventing a police facility from being built. You're actually giving them a reason to build one. Because when you really think about it, if you're seeing fucking cop cars being set on fire and this nonstop chaos happening on a normal basis, that's only going to fast track and encourage them to actually not only just build one police facility, but multiple police facilities. Because this is unlawful, it's dangerous, and it's ruining people's lives in the process. You're not saving anybody's lives. You are destroying them. What's even worse are the people, and especially the legacy media, cheering on the destruction as if it's making a positive impact, making non-stop excuses and stupid lies for their behaviors as if it justifies burning literally fucking everything. Oh yeah, but they're deadly, but don't worry, these are mostly peaceful protests. Remember fiery but mostly peaceful protests? Yeah, that's literally what they do when this happens. Oh yes, there are some fieriness going on, but these are mostly peaceful protests. The vast majority of these protests are peaceful. Fiery but mostly peaceful protests fighting for people's lives. Well, excuse me, why don't you just take a look at what's going on behind you? People are fucking burning things down and destroying everything right behind you. And you're calling these peaceful protests? You're saying that this is helping and saving people's lives? What are you, out to lunch or something? You do realize that all these cars and buildings and property are people's lives. And what about all the people who are getting killed because of all this going on? If you say that these are mostly peaceful protests, and right behind you they see burning cars, burning buildings, and fireworks going off and explosions going off, do you think people are going to take you seriously? Fuck no, they're going to literally ask, what are you talking about? So these are not protests. In no way these are in any way, shape, or form considered peaceful. These are riots. These are unlawful gatherings. And the fact that we have to go through this again is fucking stupid. These riots are not solving anything. They're destroying lives. If you partake in this activity, you are destroying lives. Burning down buildings, destroying cop cars, and attacking police officers for no reason is not protesting. If you guys are in Atlanta right now, all I gotta say is, stay safe out there. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button down below, and if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the little notification bell. Be sure to follow me on all my social medias, links are in the description below. Share this video around with your friends, families, boyfriends, girlfriends, enemy, whomever. Really helps a lot if you share this video around with other people. Helps the channel a lot and I really appreciate that. Don't forget to follow me on all my new tech. All the links in the descriptions to those sites will be in the description down below as well. And don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where I post all the updates. You can, talk to me, play video games with me, hang out, chit chat, send me some current events, news, tips, and video ideas. You can also do that there as well. So don't forget to join the Discord server. Link will be in the description below. But anyway, guys, like, subscribe, ring notifications, and until then, take care, talk soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.